Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another standard video. Omnivorous Flytrap. A creature that I think has a lot of potential. It's a 3-mana 2/4 Delirium. Whenever it enters or attacks, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures. Then if there are 6 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, double the number of 1/1 counters on those creatures. It demands a lot. It demands a lot of not only cards in your graveyard, but different types of cards. It fortunately for us, there's a recent, in the Avatar set, recent archetype that also really wants specific things in your graveyard, and that's Lessons. So today, I present you Lessons Delirium. What's going on here? First off, the core. 4 Gran-Gran, 4 Patchwork Beastie, 4 Flytrap. Gran-Gran and Patchwork Beastie, really solid early drops that help us get things in our graveyard. Enable Delirium quickly. Enable 3 Lessons in our graveyard for Accumulate Wisdom quickly. And Gran-Gran is crazy. The mana reduction on her second clause, non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast as long as there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard. This lets you pop off like insanity. I mean, surely everyone knows this already, but in this deck specifically too, we have a lot of flashback effects, Esper Origins, Rock-a-Lanche, Winter Night Stories, that and most everything is a non-creature aside from our Omnivorous Flytraps, Patchwork Beastie, Gran-Gran, and 1 Sparring Dummy. So basically the mana reduction hits everything, and you just go crazy. That's kind of the idea here. As far as everything else that we're on, 2 Vivian Reed, pretty solid. Especially in the current meta, I think if you run into like the Monument to Endurance deck, being able to have like a main deck way to interact with that is pretty good. Also hits pesky flyers, which we otherwise have trouble with, and helps us dig for our Gran-Grans and Flytraps. 4 Dredger's Insight, probably the most solid way to just like mill, and then usually we'll grab a land in this deck because we're quite creature light. Backup Dredger's Insight, we're playing Leaves from the Vine. Maybe you're supposed to play 4 Leaves from the Vine and 4 Dredger's Insight in this version, because Leaves from the Vine is 3rd clause. You'll draw a card if there's a creature or lesson card in your graveyard. So but this pretty much always hits, whereas Dredger's Insight may whiff, or at the very least it grabs a land, so that's not really a whiff. 4 Accumulate Wisdom, of course, 3 Quench, 2 Boomerang Basics, 4 Seismic Sense. In the late game, this really helps us dig for our crucial pieces. If we don't have a Gran-Gran or an Omnivorous Flytrap, we don't really have a great way to close out the game. And it grabs a land early if we need it. 2 Esper Origins, of course, very solid card to mill over or discard. A couple Rock-a-Lanche. We're only playing 5 non-forests, so this is pretty likely to be decently big. It's a lesson, importantly enough. Just another way to close out the game, basically. And a couple Winter Night Stories. We're only on 20 lands. We have a lot of ways to find extra lands and draw a bunch of cards. We're relatively low on the curve, so we really don't want to be too clumped up with lands early game. We need to find action. And as for our sideboard, keeping it pretty simple, pretty straightforward. 4 Soul Guide Lantern for other graveyard strategies, 4 Unable to Screen for creature strategies, 3 Negates, and 4 Origin of Metal Bending. Another crucial lesson piece here, Naturalize plus give your Omnivorous Flytrap indestructible. And the idea here, cohesively, get online as quickly as possible. Whether that's 4 Delirium, 6 Delirium, 3 Lessons in our graveyard, and go nuts with Gran-Gran. And then eventually set up this turn where you combo into drawing your Omnivorous Flytraps, and you can make Gran-Gran like a 5/6 pretty quickly, and then if they don't answer that immediately, they're pretty much toast from there. That is the idea. Let's jump into some matches. I tested this a little just before recording, and it was really fun. And I think I probably could have won the couple matches that I tested with, but I had to iterate a couple more times. I wasn't really that focused on winning, to be honest. I was more like, let's see what how these interactions play out. What seems strong, and really, Gran-Gran is just crazy. I think I'm gonna keep this on the power of turn 1 Gran-Gran. Quite land light, but hopefully we can start digging if they don't have an immediate answer for this. Okay. Gonna go ahead and attack. There's a land. That's huge. Let's go ahead and discard this Winter Night Stories. We'll hit them with the Dredger's Insight, try to find a third land here. Hopefully fill up our graveyard pretty quickly with some lessons. There's one lesson. Go ahead and just grab this land. Make sure we're hitting our land drops. Importantly, Omnivorous Flytrap is already online. So we can actually just play it if we want. They might have counter magic. But if they're going to counter something, this is maybe not the worst thing. Okay. Draw, discard. Let's get rid of the Boomerang Basics here. I think that... I guess we could Boomerang Basics our Dredger's Insight. Probably pretty quickly gets us online. Though we have these leaves from the vine as well. Maybe we don't need the Patchwork Beastie quite yet. Because once we have Gran-Gran online, we pretty much just want to see non-creature spells from then on. Play a land. Let's go ahead and swing. There's a Quench. That's pretty good. Discard this Leaves from the Vine, I suppose. Let's go ahead and play the second Leaves from the Vine here. They probably won't counter this. They decide to counter it. I'm just going to let that happen. Hold up this Quench. Stock up. Let's just quench the stock up. Keep them off of some action. Maybe they're missing land drops here. Okay, so now we can double accumulate wisdom. Just by... I guess, you know, it's probably best to just start off with this. Okay, there's our fly trap. Hit him with a Dredger's Insight. Try to find another blue source here. There's another blue source. We could just go with the fly trap here. We have the 6 Delirium. It's probably better than double accumulate wisdom, just to sort of guarantee that we are on the board here. Go ahead and attack. There's a Vivian Reed. I think double accumulate wisdom's probably better. Kind of nuts, right? There's a Day of Judgment. That is okay. Gran-Gran off the top is huge. Play Gran-Gran. Little Ancestral Recall action. Go ahead and Dredger's Insight. Hit a land here. Let's just Winter Night Stories. There's probably not a whole lot extra we can do with an Accumulate Wisdom off the top here. Okay. Discard some lands. Yeah, that seems okay. Rock-a-Lanch looking pretty good. I wouldn't mind seeing another Quench, just to help guarantee that we can fire some stuff off on our turn. Let's go for a Rock-a-Lanch. See what they do about that. Swing in. Make sure we do it on a non-basic so they can't Demolition Field here. Seismic Sense is a pretty good card. Probably better to hold the Breeding Pool here. Okay. I'll just fire off the Seismic Sense, see if they want to do anything about it. Dig 7 deep, grab a fly trap. Pass it to you. Okay. Vivian Reed, not bad. Let's see if they have anything to say about this Omnivorous Flytrap. Doubles the counters on our Earthbent Forest, by the way. Kind of sweet. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 mana available. Go for this. Jeskai Revelation. So we're going to respond to this Jeskai Revelation with Accumulate Wisdom here, aka Ancestral Recall. Hopefully we hit a Quench. Nope. Tap this forest for green. Put a counter on Gran-Gran. Double it. Now we can... Do we go for Winter Night Stories, or do we just go for a Vivian Reed? I kind of like the Vivian Reed here. 17 cards left in our deck. Grab a Patchwork Beastie. Just hit ya. There's another Ancestral Recall. Make sure we hold on to the basic forest, up our Rock-a-Lanch count here. Pretty unlikely to be dead. The lack of quenches here might hurt us. But we can put together a pretty big, hasty Rock-a-Lanch land. $15 cards left in our deck. They're digging. They're tapping out a blue mana here. If we can hit another Quench, I mean, they're probably just dead anyway. Quench would really help seal things up. Okay, well, we have the Rock-a-Lanch plus... There's a Boomerang Basics. Interesting. We have Rock-a-Lanch plus Omnivorous Flytrap. But can we also fit, like, an Accumulate Wisdom in there if we play Gran-Gran? Play a Forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Gran-Gran to 7. Rock-a-Lanch costs 5. So we can't really do it all, but we can play a Gran-Gran. Play a Gran-Gran. Fire off and Accumulate Wisdom. See if we can hit a Quench here. Keep them from interacting. That's nice. How do we play around a board wipe? I think we need to hold the Rock-a-Lanch, maybe? Maybe we just Esper Origins here? There's a second Quench. That's actually kind of big game. I'm gonna draw into that. If I can. Okay, I can draw into it, but I can't hold them both up. Hold them both up. Suppose I play a Beastie, mill away this land. I can just fire off this Winter Night Stories, I guess. I'm going pretty low as far as my graveyard is concerned here. There's another Rock-a-Lanch. That's actually pretty big. I think we can afford to discard... no, let's keep bonus Gran-Gran. Let's get rid of Boomerang Basics and Flytrap at this point. And maybe just the Breeding Pool. I guess Boomerang Basics could just hit Seam Rip. That's maybe a little more flexible than just having the Gran-Gran. Oh, it's too late. Okay. I goofed. Yeah, I kind of goofed on this one. Maybe we don't need double Quench. Oh, it's still... Okay, well, let's just go for this Rock-a-Lanch then. Hit him for 6 here. This probably makes the most sense. They could have like a Get Lost, I suppose. Make him use it here. It would have been nice to be able to do it all, but we got to do a lot. It would have been nice to be able to do it all, but we got to do a lot. Eight cards left in our deck. 31 cards in our graveyard. Pretty sure we have Delirium online. I will decline to mill a card. Importantly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can't Jeskai Revelation me. I'm just going to go for a Rockalanche here into Flytrap. Perhaps. Let's see what they have going on here. Maybe I don't play the Flytrap, because then I won't be able to quench. Yeah, just hit him. Yeah, just hit him. Counter a Jeskai Revelation. It'll quench you. LMAO. Might as well crack a map. Esper Origins. We can just leave that on top. I don't think there's much sense milling ourselves out. Not the worst draw. River Regent. Bounce Gran-Gran. Bounce the Beastie. Tapped land. We have a Hasty Rockalanche coming in. We can Hasty Rockalanche plus Venus Flytrap. Omnivorous Flytrap. Oh. Actually, without the Gran-Gran discount here, not quite there. We could. Do we have any Boomerang basics left in our deck? No. We're so close. We're so close. It's simply too much mana. Play a Gran-Gran. I guess we just make them block with the River Regent. That kind of makes the most sense to me. No more lies. Well, I'm going to pay for this. Hit him for 7. Did they draw anything good? No, okay. Game 1, grindy, very grindy. We have to be prepared for Rest in Peace. Bring in the Origin of Metal Bending. Pretty good through board wipes too. Bring in the negates. Take out the Boomerang basics. Take out... Let's leave in like 1 quench. Just cut all the quenches. They'll probably just start playing around them. Go down a couple Dredger's Insight. I think I like that. Leaves from the Vine might just be better in this deck. We're so low on creatures that it's the same amount of cards in graveyard ultimately, because Leaves from the Vine kills itself, you know? So it mills 3 and then eventually goes to the graveyard. So that guarantees enchantment in the graveyard, which is interesting. There's also like some boards where actually putting 2 counters, like distributing 2 1/1 counters on creatures is kind of relevant, because then if you follow that up with the Omnivorous Flytrap, you can actually present a slightly bigger attacker. The food token could be good. It's probably more guaranteed life than... This is a weird hand. Than Dredger's Insight offers. Mulligan that. Keep this. I like it. Cut a Beastie. Lead on a Beastie here. I like the Beastie here too, because it's like they're probably not going to deal with it, and it almost guarantees gets us online in some capacity. think I'm just going to fire off the Accumulate Wisdom here. Seems fine. Try to hit a land. Try to hit a... I don't know. Try to hit an I don't know. Try to hit an I don't know. Jeez Louise. Mill this. That's 3 types already. We can go... Seismic Sense for a land and play Gran-Gran. No land. Oh, full whiff. Hey. Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing. I didn't even consider that that was possible, but it is. They might just wipe the board here, but we can refill with a not quite. They could have Spell Pierce, but I just have to go for it. Got to hit my land drops. Not quite Ancestral Recall, but pretty good. They might annul this. Interesting. I still feel pretty ahead right now. They're not like actively winning the game. They're drawing some cards, but so are we. I think I'm just gonna get my... I'm gonna go Winter Night Stories. They could have a Spell Pierce here. Nope. Gonna keep the Fly Trap around. Let's discard a couple lands. Discard a Hedge Maze, discard a Forest, play a Hedge Maze, pass. Yeah, we'll keep another Fly Trap. The reason I didn't play Fly Trap there is because if they just, like, cast a River Regent, we're not really winning that game at that point. But now if I go for the Fly Trap, I suppose they could have no more lies here. But if they don't, I get to Winter Night Stories. 3 steps ahead. Okay. Would like to resolve the Vivian. There's Negate. That's pretty good. Let's go for our Fly Trap here now. Maybe they... There's the No More Lies. Yeah, that's not ideal. Let's just negate this. See what they do. I just want to stick something, and I think this threatens to close out the game pretty quickly if they don't find an answer. And now we can give it an Indestructible with Origin of Metal Bending. Let's just go ahead and just fire off a Winter Night Stories here. There's Gran-Gran. We don't really need Gran-Gran at this point. I think I like the idea of keeping around more Origin of Metal Bendings. Vivian, etc., etc. Yeah, we'll just pass here. Hold up our Indestructible. Not that good through a Jeskai Revelation if they, like, bounce this here. Yeah. Yeah, that's not ideal. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen a Rest in Peace yet. Almost certain that they would bring that in. Hitting me. Passing. Yeah, let's just go for our Fly Trap again. Are they just going to Jeskai Revelation me out of the game? 3 steps ahead. All in. Surprisingly, we don't have full Delirium. Go for another one here. Tap out. Just get on the board. Hopefully we untap. Stock up. Ayy. Yeah. We didn't have a blazing fast start, and they do go quite bigger than we do. Bring in the Quenches again, game 3, I think, on the play. There's a River Regent. Just scoop it up here. They're hitting me for a lot. I think I need to get under what they're doing here. Bring in the Quenches. Let's go down. We need some amount of enchantments. Let's go down a couple Origin of Metal Bending. Surely they're on Rest in Peace, but the other counter magic can help account for that as well. And we'll just stick it to 2 quenches. All right, like that. Feel like this is just going to be a tough matchup in general, but if we keep a nice hand with Gran-Gran, some acceleration, this is really quite good. I think I'm going to keep double Gran-Gran. Skip out on the Hedge Maze here. So if they have an answer for the first one, we can just follow up, and if they don't, we can just discard away Gran-Gran. Gran-Gran. We've untapped with Gran-Gran. Let's go ahead and swing. Discard a Rock-a-Lanche here. Get a Lesson in our graveyard. Play a Hedge Maze. Lesson in our graveyard. Fire off a Seismic Sense. It'll land. That was kind of fortunate. Seismic Sense is a little scary in this list. Do we have Delirium? No. Play a land. Swing with Gran-Gran. Okay. Well, this is kind of nice, actually. We have backup Gran-Gran. Pop some maps. Hopefully we can see some action. Not bad. Dredger's Insight. I think I like the Dredger's Insight here. Although it guarantees turns on Delirium. But it helps get more stuff in our graveyard, and we get the cost reduction from Gran-Gran. Could be okay. Going to play a Forest. Play a Dredger's Insight with 3 mana up to play around. No More Lies. Mill some Stiff. Let's grab backup Gran-Gran. Makes sense to me. Pretty important to have her. Not going to play the Fly Trap quite yet. Discard away this extra Hedge Maze. Pass it back to you. Pretend we have something going on. Turn on full control. We'll let this resolve. Okay. I think we just swing in with Gran-Gran here. No need to feed the No More Lies at this point. There's a Vivian Reed. That's pretty good. Wan Shi Tong. Not bad. Vivian does kill Wan Shi Tong, which is kind of neat. We'll just go for that. Bop. We're not searching our library too much anyway, but we'll take a 2 for 1. 3 for 1. Do you have Tishana's Tidebinder? Grab another Fly Trap here. How do we best deploy from this position? Probably just shock ourselves and play a Fly Trap. We don't have a lot of action for Gran-Gran right now. 3 steps ahead. Counters. Play another one. Vivian Reed also kills Meringue River Regent. Pretty nice. Demolition Field me. Not quite sure why they would choose to do this. They don't have mana for Wan Shi Tong. Kind of a weird play. Do they need double white to be able to wipe the board? Okay. Yeah, Vivian Reed's kind of a problem for you, though. Fire off Vivian Reed. Take another Fly Trap, I think. Hold up Negate. Yeah, seems pretty good to me. What are we missing to be able to have full Delirium here? We have instant sorcery creature land. So we need like artifact and enchantment. I think we go Gran-Gran while we can. Fly trap, hold up, negate. I guess we can fire off a second. No, let's hold on to both of these in case they like kill our Gran-Gran. We still want to be able to negate on their turn. This deck is kind of sweet. Turns out lessons are fun. We'll let them consult. They're only leaving up blue-white, kind of awkward. They let the auto tap kind of screw them over a little here. Rest in peace. Well, I think we have to negate that. They could have a negate of their own. Nice. Also, Vivian Reed answers, rest in peace. Match 1 in the books, baby. That's... Green-blue. Lessons Delirium. Green-blue Lessons Delirium. Pretty sweet. I think probably a little less consistent than the Otters version, the Is It Otters version, but like if you were to make a direct comparison, it's probably that. But I think the potential to get a bunch of stuff in the graveyard very quickly is a bit higher. No blue mana, no Gran-Gran. Let's go ahead and just mulligan this. This is fine. It's not great. Double Gran-Gran should help us a bit. I also think compared to that version, we're a little more explosive with Gran-Gran because of the flashback effects from our graveyard. Let's just go with the Beastie here. See if we can bait out some counter magic, maybe. Another blue-white deck. Not necessarily control. But almost every blue-white deck you run into is on No More Lies. Fountain Port. Pretty likely to be control. Mill a card. Yeah, that's a pretty good one to mill. Go for a Gran-Gran here. See what they have to say about it. Have you met my grandmother? They are hanging out. They do not care. Mill a card. There's a Rock-a-Lanche. Okay. We can guarantee to accumulate wisdom here if we get to swing in with Gran-Gran. We do get to swing in with Gran-Gran. Go ahead and discard one of these loose seismic senses. And now we can fire off and accumulate wisdom with Quench back up if we want. Yeah, they should have, if they have a response, they goofed by letting me attack here. Okay, well. Get got. We'll sneak in our Ancestral Recall while we have a chance. Get some good lands online, and now we're in business, baby. Oh, this deck is sick. Gran-Gran, turns out it's a fun card. Turns out cheap spells is fun. Elspeth could be a bit of a problem. Another Gran-Gran. How do we deal with this Elspeth? Guess we just try to cast a lot of spells here. Start with the Dredger's Insight. Grab a Fly Trap. It's fully online. Go for an Esper Origins. Set up for next turn here. Yeah, I don't think we want any of this stuff. I wonder if they'd double block Gran-Gran. We have a bunch of backup Gran-Grans. Let's take the Sparring Dummy. It's not great, but we don't need the extra lands. We might be able to discard this to a future Winter Night Stories or something like that. Double Rock-a-Lanche in the graveyard, a little tough. It'd be nice if we had access to like some kind of flying. The best we could do is trample from Esper Origins. Mill a card. Probably don't need to keep milling, to be honest. Be nice if we had Quench. Maybe we should be on a full 4 Quench. I'm going to go for the Fly Trap here. They're probably just going to counter it, but if they don't, we get to attack in. Okay. I'm going to double attack here. Get some filtering with Gran-Gran. I guess Island is worse than Verge. Ah, yes. Double Fish. Forgot about Double Fish. So they get to block everything. Keep them off of killing us here pretty soon, at least. Back up Gran-Gran. A bit of a slow start mana-wise. Not hitting all of our land drops early on. Kind of hurting us right now. But maybe they don't have a whole lot going on in hand. I'd like to resolve this Esper Origins. Not going to play around anything. Just going to go for it. I think the way we win is if we manage to get the trample trigger. They counter this. Leaving up more counter magic, perhaps? Not entirely sure why. Let's go for the sparring dummy. They should just ignore this. It pretty much does nothing. Okay. No attacks. I suppose we wouldn't mind like a bounce off. Just reset. No, it's not bounce off. Boomerang Basics. A Boomerang Basics to reset the Elspeth. Maybe a little Quench action to follow it up. Redder's Insight. We have 3 fly traps left in the deck. Shock ourselves here. Let's lead on the Insight. There's a Winter Night Stories. That's pretty good. Grab the Hedge Maze. I'm not sure that untapped mana really matters wholly right now. Go for the Seismic Sense here. See if we can hit a Fly Trap. Force some action. There's a Fly Trap. Let's go for big Gran-Gran if this resolves. 1 mana open. They're like, oh, does he have Quench? Interesting stuff. I think we've been quite unlikely to win this game for several turns now, but they could just have 3 lands in their hand, you know? It happens. Okay. They play around Quench a little here. Suppose we go ahead and pass. Line counters on Elspeth. Not really important at this point. Kind of surprised they're just not swinging in. Like, they should just start hitting me. They probably kill me in 2 turns. Activate the dummy. See if we draw a land. Pass on a Gran-Gran. That's not the worst outcome. I like the Fly Trap. It'd be nice if we had a little more support. Guess we just go for it. We can pay for a No More Lies here. Resolves. Let's go all in on Gran-Gran. Fire off a Winter Night Stories with our Gran-Gran now. See a bunch more cards. there's an accumulate wisdom. Discard the land to this trigger so that we can discard Gran-Gran to the Winter Night Stories. Okay. Hand is shaping up. We can bounce the Elspeth here to not die next turn because they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tokens plus 2 more is 8. 16 in the air. Or I hold up the accumulate wisdom. I mean, I have to reset the Elspeth here while I maybe have a chance. They might just make a fish. Make 2 fish. Okay. Pass it to you. It'd be nice if we had some way to trample. Maybe we need to be playing the Simic Manland instead of like these Willow Rush Verges. Get lost. That is fine. Not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Maybe we just quench this while we can. Make them think about like killing the fly trap with their Elspeth rather than hurting us physically. Resolves. The lack of trample for our fly trap is pretty tough. It'd be nice if we had a source of some way to guarantee get the big damage through. Going all in. Kind of a risky play to just swing with everything here. No, am I not? I'm not dead, right? Did you miscalculate? I mean, you must have removal in your hand. Did they just do a goof? They just do a big goof? Like if we accumulate wisdom, I mean, they're just dead to this Gran-Gran plus fly trap, I think. Or a Rockalanche plus fly trap. Do I have any quenches left in my deck? I do. So I suppose I fire up the Rockalanche, threaten lethal. If they do something about it, at that point I accumulate wisdom and try to hit a quench. They have a fountain port. Let me just go for it. Yeah, did they just goof big time? Kill you? Double the counters on Gran-Gran and Edge Maze here. Draw a discard, not bad. Wow. We'll chalk that up as a loss, but I thought control players were supposed to be methodical and conniving. You know, I thought that was the whole point. No offense, no offense. I'm joking. I'm joking. What did we do last time? We cut. Let's cut the sparring dummy. Cut a seismic sense, perhaps. Been a little awkward. Cut a dredger's insight. Just bring in counter magic and removal for rest in peace. Kind of a goof from our opponent. That's been happening a few times lately on video. Kind of a big time goof. Should have left back some blockers. Threw it all away. I feel like they probably thought they had lethal. They were like, oh, I've got 1 million tokens. Elspeth, go. Swing out, kill you. Like, just count your tokens, bro. No Gran-Gran. Gran-Gran off the top would be sick nasty right now. No Gran-Gran. Let's just throw out the Esper Origins here. We can hold up Quench later. I think I like seeing the fly traps. It's like one of the only ways we can close out a game. Not just going to throw it in the graveyard, I think. Now we play a little game of draw go. Just a little game of draw go here. Probably should have played the Willow Rush Verge. I don't think it'll be too important. Fountain Port. They're winning! I'd really like to be able to cast the Esper Origins and hold up Quench. We can pretty freely play this Patchwork Beastie here. Help us build up to our graveyard stuff. Token's looking good. Soul Guide Lantern, pretty good. Suppose we let this resolve. Don't really have much of a choice. They should just hit me, right? You have a Soul Guide Lantern now. Just hit me, dude. Mill Fly Trap. There's a Gran-Gran. Now our new goal is Vivian Reed with Quench backup. Let's just go ahead and fire off this Winter Night Stories. See what they do about it. They let it resolve. Discard bonus Gran-Gran. Continue to... you know what? Let's just fire off second Winter Night Stories. Why not? If they want to do something cool on their turn, they can. I don't think we hit a land drop quite yet, so it'd be nice to draw into one. And if they want to counter this, they can counter this. Wow. Still no land. Discard some garbage. Enchantment, creature, artifact. Fire off a Consult the Star Charts. Put this Rock-a-Lanch in our graveyard. Turn on Delirium. Discard the Leaves from the Vine as well. Elspeth. Elspeth pretty good. Go ahead and mill a card, I suppose. Guess we go for a Vivian Reed. Make them use the Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot else we can do, to be honest. He'll just die. It's a very expensive naturalize, but we can't let them have all the power here with the Soul Guide Lantern. Wouldn't mind drawing a third blue source. That would open up our options quite a bit. Kind of a tough matchup. Blue-white control twice in a row. Wouldn't mind playing against the Is It Lessons deck. I think that'd be a pretty fun matchup. Elspeth going crazy. We don't have great answers to it. Bounce off, or Boomerang Basics would not be the worst thing. Maybe we should just be on Icetail Explorer too. Just go all in. It'd be nice to be able to continue to ramp past a certain point, you know? It would bump our creature count. It would make the Delirium stuff a little harder. But maybe you just skip Delirium and you like play Gran-Gran Storm, basically, you know? Rockalanche Gran-Gran Storm. That sounds kind of disgusting, actually. I might have to try that out. I might have to try that out next. Opponent has a bunch of mana open. Let's go for a Dredger's Insight. Try to hit a land. No way you counter this, right? You're just going to annul? No. Didn't think so, bub. There's a land. Blue source. Nice. Delirium is online. Let us send the beastie at Elspeth. See if they block. They decide to give up material. Let's see if they do anything about a Gran-Gran. Oh, we don't have our lessons online quite yet. So she's not actually reducing our stuff. So I suppose we just pass? Maybe like fire off and accumulate wisdom. I mean, they're definitely in the winning position, so we need to force some action. A Boomerang Basics would have been nice there. Get another lesson in the graveyard. Reset the Elspeth. 1 mana, force some action. I think I'm going to fire off this first Accumulate Wisdom at the end of their turn. See if we can hit a Boomerang Basics. Open the game up, perhaps. Pretty unlikely to counter this. Another Quench. I think I like the Negate. That seems right. Go to my turn here. Maybe we can get another lesson in our graveyard off this Hedge Maze. Not quite. We are big online as far as Delirium is concerned. Let's just go ahead, send out our first soldier. We're facing down lethal here pretty soon in the air. In fact, we are. We are facing down lethal. If they play their cards right. Maybe they realize it this time. Because they can make fish and then fire up the Restless Anchorage. Guess we have to go for this Accumulate Wisdom. See if we hit a bounce off. Origin of Metal Bending. Okay. Pass it to ya. Yeah, they got it this time for sure. They learned from their previous mistake. On the play for game 3. Oh, we took the Boomerang Basics out of the deck. Yeah, let's put those back in. Let's put those back in. If that's our only answer to Elspeth, once it resolves, we definitely need at least one. Patchwork Beastie. Looking a little weird. Let's go up. Full 4 Origin of Metal Bending. Cut down on Leaves from the Vine. Actually, Leaves from the Vine is probably just better than Dredger's Insight. It hurts our Delirium a little bit, but if they're on Graveyard Hate, pretty unlikely that we'll get the full 6 anyway. Still pretty easy to get 4. Maybe we cut a land even though we're on the play. Yeah. 3 Origin of Metal Bending. Try it like that. I think we can win if we get an early Gran-Gran and kind of pop off. It's hard to play the long game when they have Elspeth. Pretty hard to interact. This is a good hand. We keep this hand. Just going to go on Gran-Gran right away. Not going to give him a chance to do anything about it, I suppose. Swing with Gran-Gran. Start getting lessons in our graveyard. Play a hedge maze. I like that draw. Let's play the beastie, but we won't mill the negate. Seems pretty important to have access to that with this setup. Land go. No mill. Go ahead and swing with Gran-Gran. Just filter away a forest here. 2 types. 1 lesson. Island. Verge. Are they thinking about get lost in Gran-Gran? I think I would totally let that happen. I'll take those maps. Set up for a big fly trap. We'll put a Rock-a-Lantern in our graveyard. 2nd lesson. Setting up here pretty nicely. Wan Chi Tong. Not really sure what that does against us. We're not really searching our library at all. There's a demolition field. I guess you can make me search and you'll draw a card, and that's fine. Doesn't seem that good. Swings for 1. Vigilance. We'll take the mill. Maybe we just get... Okay, well there's Delirium. That's pretty good. Not going to go for the fly trap quite yet. Drawing our island here. Play the island. Let's go for Leaves from the Vine. See if we get online with Gran-Gran. Maybe we hit like a Winter Night Stories. There's a Winter Night Stories, and we get online with Gran-Gran. So we get to fire this off for 1 mana. And hold up the negate for 1 mana. Kind of huge. I think I like the card quantity here, so I'm just going to get rid of the fly trap. Although it is the way we win. Maybe we get rid of like Origin of Metal Bending plus land. Let's get rid of the fly trap. I think I like the quantity here. Double negate, or sorry, 1 negate, 1 quench. Origin of Metal Bending, pretty good. Let's go ahead and pass here. I'm not going to force the action of swinging in with Gran-Gran and then maybe getting them. Oh, you know, the awkward thing, however, through all of this, is we drew the 1 island from our deck. We can grab a forest to hold up Origin of Metal Bending for indestructible if we need to, but no longer able to hold up counter magic on their turn here. Maybe I just crack the food while I can. I think I'd rather, like, if they think they need to wipe the board, just be able to give indestructible to Gran-Gran. Probably the most important thing right now. Kind of a critical turn right here. See what they have. Leaves from the Vine looking kind of good, actually. Pretty relevant, being able to put a counter on each of my creatures here. Pinnacle Star Cage. Okay. Kill it on the stack while I have the mana reduction here. Mill a card. Put some counters on my guys. Pretty nice. Now we're kind of in the driver's seat. Go ahead and swing in. Discard a Willow Rush Verge. We want some decent forest count for our Rock-a-Lantern, although to be honest, it's looking kind of poor. blocks with Wan Chi Tong. We're kind of just on the granny beatdown right now, actually. It's kind of good. It's kind of a good granny beatdown with this counter magic backup. Very like, I don't know. In a way, it's almost like a legacy feel to it. Just very efficient. Maybe I could sack the food there, but I don't think it matters. We'll mill. It's card advantage potentially. Ooh, would have liked that wisdom. Kind of sweet draws here. Kind of pop it off. Oh, I don't know why it makes me laugh. How do we lose from this position? We definitely have to hold up negate. No reason to just like jam, I think. Vivian is pretty free, I think. Maybe we lose to like split up plus no more lies for my negate. Maybe I just swing in. Discard the Esper Origins, play the Esper Origins, perhaps. Oh, double negate. Well, that ought to put this away. I guess they could have like Meringue River Regent would be pretty good. Play the Esper Origins. We can hold up double negate here. We'll draw the Beastie. Play the Beastie. And then mill the Rockalanche when our turn comes around. Beastie beatdown. Just some 3/3s. No problem. So we negate this. And we win. Sweet deck. Okay. 2-0. Opponent gave up the first match, I believe. Sorry, gave up the first game. So, you know, take the 2-0 with a grain of salt, but kind of doing it a little bit. I would like to not play against Control next. That'd be my preference. Test this against a wider variety of decks, but could you imagine just a video where I'm like paired against blue-white Control 5 times in a row, and I just like it's like a 3-hour video. That would be super miserable. I'd rather play against Is It Lessons 5 times in a row. At least those matches go kind of quick. All right, moving into match 3 against Trash Dog. Shout out. Be on the play. This hand's okay. It'd be nicer with a Grandma, but I like that it has mana. I like that it has spells. Gonna hold the Seismic Sense, I think, until like turn 3, probably. The Simic Mirror. There's a Beastie. That's pretty good. Might just fire off the Rockalanche Natty, so I probably should have held off on the island. That was probably a mistake. Could have just gone forest. 3/3 Rockalanche creature guy. Well, if they have the Ouroboros, not a whole lot we can do about that. Game 1. Boomerang basics. Well, there's an answer. Let's go ahead and use our Seismic Sense here. Maybe we hit a Grandma. Hedge Maze. Not the worst. I guess we could just bounce the Breeding Pool. No, non-land permanent. Okay. Need into the Floodmaw. We bounce the Cub. They just get to replay it and go kind of crazy. But maybe I need to do that for tempo. This is a pretty tough spot here, actually. Yeah, I guess I bounce the Cub. Postpone the Ouroboros, especially if they're low on land drops. There's a land. Gonna be a tough matchup. Game 1, I think. We have our Unable to Screams in the side. They're untapping with quite a lot of mana here. Go ahead and mill. Could have used that breeding pool. Okay, thank you. Fire off the accumulate wisdom here. Okay. Not a whole lot of action. Play this hedge maze, I suppose. Dodge some forests. A lot of lands in my hand. Couple Rockalanches look pretty bad, not gonna lie. Keen-eyed curator. Yes, indeedio. Yes, in diddly do. No Ouroboros. Not sure which is worse. There's my grandma in the graveyard. I guess we fire off a Rockalanche. Go swinging. Can they enable... If I have Delirium, they must be able to turn on their curator. I'm just going to scoop this one up. There's not really anything I can do with them online like this, and I don't really have any good way to interact. Bring in the Unable to Scream. Yeah, that's pretty much all we have. We need the quenches, I think. Go down the Rockalanches. I think they just get outclassed here. Go down a couple Dredger's Insight. Try it like that. We just need like Grandma out the gate. That's basically it. So let's consider that in our mulligans. Yep. Great hand. Great hand. Grandma out the gate. Go ahead and swing. Seismic Sense. Discard one Seismic Sense. Play a forest, play a beastie. Let's hold off on the other Seismic Sense quite yet. It's a good late game play, but early like this, it could just whiff, and I don't like that. Cub. If I unable to scream the land, they're just like so far back on mana, right? That's kind of sweet. It means I can't swing with Gran-Gran at that point. Nope. Let's play land and then Seismic Sense here. Another beastie's not bad. Could help get Grandma online, fill up our graveyard. I think I'm going to go for the Unable to Scream on the Botanical Sanctum. Kind of interesting, right? Basically Stone Rain. There's another Cub. Okay. Would like to mill another lesson and then block here. Another lesson and then like an Esper Origins would be sweet. There's a lesson. There's a Winter Night Stories, huge. Play the Winter Night Stories. Unable to Scream, not bad. We're online. Let's go ahead and flashback Winter Night Stories here. Or harmonize. Seismic Sense. Vivian Reed doesn't do a whole lot. I like the Unable to Scream for a possible Ouroboros next turn. I could just Unable to Scream this forest. Yeah. Let's do it again. Okay. Seems good to me. And just discard the Esper Origins as well, because we can flash it back. Whee! It's kind of working, I think. It's kind of working. They have 2 mana. They went from having like 1,000,000 mana, now they have 2 mana. Swinging in, I'm not going to block. They could ostensibly have just like a snakeskin veil. I don't know. Doesn't necessarily seem like the most likely, but I don't really want to give up Gran-Gran. Boomerang basics. Interesting. We can like boomerang basics our Espermadoin if we need to. Maybe I should have just gone for a seismic sense into the fly trap there. Another seismic sense. Let's just guarantee a hit here. Go ahead and swing in. Flood Pit's Drowner. Tapping a Beastie. Okay, we're pretty well obligated, I think, now to hold back some amount of blockers. So I think I'm going to hold back the Beastie as a blocker. And then Boomerang Basics my Esper Origins here. Draw some action. Start gaining some life. Set up our next turns here. Hope they continue to miss land drops. There's a land. Still only on 3 mana. Drunith. Reviver of the Hive. Kind of a critical turn for us coming up here. We need to, I think, just keep our Esper Origins online so that we can maybe get the trample going. They definitely have enough mana for an Ouroboros next turn. I would not mind if they chose to swing in. At this point, it doesn't matter, I suppose, if they have more land, probably. More mana. Like, that we can't interact with these Llanowar elves anyway. Better to keep them off of creatures. This is an interesting match. We stayed in it quite a lot longer than I maybe expected to. We're pretty well set up for a good fly trap board. 3 left in the deck. I think we kind of have to let go Esper Origins to get it online into fly trap. Hope we hit a fly trap here. Oh, Accumulate Wisdom Quench. They have enough mana to deal with a Quench. Kind of crazy to pass up on an Accumulate Wisdom though, right? I guess we kind of have to. Hope we draw the fly trap here. Another Gran-Gran. Not the worst thing. Go for a seismic. Go for a Winter Night Stories. Discard a Gran-Gran. Go for a Beastie. Present a pretty big board. Not going to be quite enough through there. Ouroboros, I think. Oh, Sabsunen, Luxa Embodied. No Ouroboros. Interesting. We can probably skip out on milling here. Not much of a reason to do that. I guess it could have been card advantage. Maybe there was that reason to do it. But it pays to leave these fly traps in the deck, I think. Start getting some pretty big hits in, I think. This can block. So maybe we hit a... Do we have any more Unable to Screams in the deck? 1 and 1 on the Sanctum, so we have 2 left. We're not going to swing in with the Espermadoin, so we might as well use it for the... Oh, yeah. Go ahead and discard the Dredger's Insight in a land. Let's Unable to Scream Sabsunen. Luxa Embodied. Kind of huge. Go ahead and Seismic Sense. Maybe we hit another Fly Trap. Okay. Kind of going crazy now. I think we just go, like, mathematically because of the doubling, it makes sense to go all in on one creature. And then with the trample next turn, we can swing, double, double, double. I guess double, double. Play another beastie. Kind of threatening a pretty big attack next turn. Pass for now. Maybe I should have attacked with the 7/7, but if they blocked, I think I'd actually be kind of sad. He's Unable to Scream's carrying me. Ghost Vacuum doesn't really matter anymore. I don't think they can turn off my Super Delirium. It'd be kind of crazy if they could with one target here. Might as well just start milling. Make sure that we have Super Delirium. And I think this should be lethal. We'll get the trample here. It's going to be quite large. Fly trap. All in. All in. Yup. Okay. All right, going into game 3. Kind of an interesting one there. Good to know that they're on Ghost Vacuum. Bring in a couple Origin and Metal Bendings. Don't want to go too in on it, though. Cut a couple Seismic Sense. Try it like that. Fun game. Unable to Scream was like really surprisingly powerful against the Badgermole Cub once I realized what you could do to them. Being able to just turn off the land and keep them off of mana. Pretty dangerous stuff. Gran-Gran, Quench, Beastie. I'm going to keep this. I'd like to see some Screams, but we will keep this. Ghost Vacuum. Not bad. Lead on Gran-Gran. See if they have a Cub to block with. Did they keep a 1-lander? Oh, scandalous. Wow. Swing in. Winter Night Stories. The Ghost Vacuum's kind of awkward. Let's just work up to a Vivian Reed, I suppose. Discard and Accumulate Wisdom right now. I don't think there's a reason to hold up the Quench here. I guess if they resolve a Cub, it's pretty bad for us. And I don't think the Patchwork Beastie does a whole lot right now anyway, so maybe we do just hold up a Quench. Like if they draw a land and play a Cub, that's pretty tough. Tishana's Tidebinder. Gonna skip out on that. I'm in for 2. Or maybe they just hold back blocks because they're scared of Gran-Gran's awesome power. Kind of makes sense. There's another Gran-Gran. Let's go for this Winter Night Stories. Need to hit our land drops here. That could help us close out the game pretty quickly if we're just able to hit all of our land drops and land a Vivian Reed before they can do anything about it. We'll discard bonus Gran-Gran. Probably not going anywhere. Other than exile, perhaps. I like another blue source. Ghost Vacuum complicating things a little bit here. 2 mana. No Cub. What a weird keep. Play the Hedge Maze. It's a land on top, we'll keep it so we can get the Vivian Reed down. Okay. Play the Beastie. Hold up Quench. They might have like a... They might be representing a negate here. It'd be nice to see him tap out. Going for Llanowar Elves. Is it crazy to quench this? Make them tap out? We have 2 quenches. Just make them tap out. They're not gonna not pay for this, right? No, they they let it go. Crazy. That's crazy, man. Gene Pollinator. Okay. Why wouldn't you just pay for the Llanowar Elves? Crash Dog, what you doing? We'll take this. I suppose we start by killing this Spyglass Siren. Is that crazy? I don't think so, right? We'll hit the Spyglass Siren. Keeps them from being able to like actually attack Vivian Reed. And then they could tap out for an Ouroboros here, which would be kind of annoying, but yeah, maybe maybe if I had thought all of that through before I did it. Okay, Tyvar is not nearly as bad. I am fine with Tyvar. Ouroboros would have allowed them to kill Vivian. Oh no, they'd have to tap the Gene Pollinator. So we were still pretty safe through that. Go Vivian Reed. They can ping Vivian for 1. They probably should have. I guess it takes down Indestructible, but not really something they should be concerned about against a Simic deck, probably. Roll up Vivian. Probably just looking to hit our land drops here. Like a blue source would be nice. Another Gran-Gran. We'll take it. Discard it to Winter Night Stories. I think we'll go with... Let's go with Dredger's Insight to try to hit a land drop instead of Winter Night Stories, because then we can hold up Quench plus Accumulate Wisdom, perhaps, if we like miraculously get 3 lessons in the graveyard off of this. We'll take the Beastie. I think Beastie's better here. It lets us hold up Quench, and we can continue to throw stuff in our graveyard, which is going to be kind of tough to fight against eventually. We'll hold up blocks with Gran-Gran to save Vivian Reed. We have a backup. Pass it to you. They can take us off of Delirium pretty easily, but they won't be able to hold us off forever. Gain a life off of Dredger's Insight. Decided not to take us off of Delirium right away. Went for a creature instead. If they attack with Tyvar, I will block. Does nothing. Weird. Gonna mill. I'm envisioning that they have a Tishana's Tidebinder for my Vivian Reed. I'm not going to roll her down. I'm just going to roll her up here. One lesson in the graveyard. What's the best way that this could play out for us? We roll up Vivian Reed. They Tidebinder. I can't quench it. Maybe I can like swing in with the Patchwork Beasties here. They can't take me off of Delirium necessarily. Especially if I have Winter Night Stories first. And then they tap Tyvar, or sorry, they tap Gene Pollinator for Indestructible, and then I get to quench. I get to quench the Tidebinder. Or maybe they're just going to fire up the Soulstone Sanctuary. I don't know. We can get artifact creature in our graveyard, which maintains Delirium. Play a land for turn here. Swing in with our beasties. See what they decide to do. Unagi of Kyoshi. Unagi of Kyoshi Island. Quench the shit out of that. Get quenched. I'm going to give up my Vivian Reed to blow up the Ghost Vacuum while I can. Seems important. Fire off the Seismic Sense here. Actually, let's just get another Beastie online. They're actually pretty formidable. 1 mana 3/3s. Not bad. Impossible to turn off with a Ghost Vacuum at this point. They're going to need more firepower than that. Heritage Wreck my... Are you just scooping? Is that why you did that? Are you throwing a little tantrum, trash dog? Normally that kind of play is followed up by a surrender. In my neck of the woods. What does that even do? Why would you even do that? You didn't draw your little Ouroboros? No little Ouroboros? The twash dog? Maybe I'm being too mean. Omnivorous Flytrap. Pretty nice. Would not mind an Unable to Scream to clean up this Tyvar here. Let's go for the Seismic Sense. That'll turn on Gran-Gran. That'll turn on Accumulate Wisdom here. I need more blue sources. I'm not sure that the extra forest does a whole lot for this turn anyway. Go for Accumulate Wisdom. Could just hit a Breeding Pool or something anyway. Willow Rush Verge. Go for Accumulate Wisdom. Ancestral Recall twice in one turn? Okay. Yep. GG's. Kind of a weird game. Kind of a cool game too. Game 3 was a little weird, but played out very nicely in our favor when they decided to keep a one-lander and whiff for several turns. 3-0 with Delirium Lessons. I'm gonna chalk that up as a win no matter what. Like a positive winning record over the course of 5 games with this kind of build is pretty good. I'll say definitely should have lost match 2, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Still won some games in there. Natty. Fun deck. A very fun deck. Compared to like the Is It Lessons, our like ability to deploy on the board immediately is not quite as strong because we're not on the like Boomerang Basics Otter plan. But our ability to make use of Gran-Gran, I think, is a little stronger in some ways. Go ahead and throw a Harmonized card in our graveyard. Up against Kyle C. Go for the Beastie. Get our tapped mana out of the way here. Accumulate Wisdom. Gonna throw it in the graveyard. Probably put them on the Kona deck. Omniscience. Could be a little rough. Don't have a whole lot of great ways to interact with that in the main here. Go for the Winter Night Stories. Maybe we can hit a Gran-Gran. There's a Gran-Gran. Decline to discard a creature card. Let's get our Lessons online here. So we can turn on Gran-Gran. Shock ourselves. Probably doesn't matter too much. And then we have a 1-mana Dredger's Insight next turn. Hopefully sets up our Flytrap pretty nicely. Oh, maybe not Omniscience if they're on a mountain here? Okay, definitely Omniscience. Oh, well. Yeah, definitely Omniscience. Definitely Omniscience. Accumulate Wisdom in the graveyard. Hate to see it. Go for the Dredger's Insight. Grab another Gran-Gran. We don't have any way to play around what they're about to do to us, so I just have to kind of go all in here. Could be dead. Just gonna make them have it. Pretending to hold up counter magic only goes so far, you know what I mean? They do not seem to have it. And they can't even swing with the wagon. There's a quench. That would not have been bad. Let's go ahead and swing. Kind of got a handful of Gran-Grans here. Target these guys. Keep them from killing Gran-Gran. Just kind of got a handful of grandmas. Hitting them. I'm going to go for the Rock-a-Lanche right now. Because I don't know what else to do. And I've already shown that I'm not holding up counter magic. Mistrise Village. Would have been uncounterable anyway. Meringue River Regent. Can't bounce my forest. Critically. Turns their Dragon Storms. They're going to have to make some less than ideal blocks here. Let's see if we can turn on Super Delirium. There's another Rock-a-Lanche. Rebel Land. Super Delirium not online. We can't really make them. We can make them block with the Fenrir. We can't make them block with the River Regent and kill it. But if we put 2 counters on it, it'll still die. Maybe we swing with Gran-Gran anyway, just to try to hit like a quench. Play this forest to make our future Rock-a-Lanches bigger. Play the Fly Trap. Go counters on... I guess we go counters on both of them, because we don't have Super Delirium. Make them block something. I mean, they'll have to block with both of their creatures, and we at least get to kill the Fenrir this way, keeping them off of a draw. They'll leave us with something here. I guess they get to fire up the wagon and give up the wagon. Esper Origins, not a bad draw. I guess we discard the Esper Origins here. They'll probably kill off Gran-Gran. They don't kill off Gran-Gran. Kill off the forest. Okay. Play a beastie. Weird game so far. They are at 4. They don't have a way to tap Kona on the board right now. Dragonback Assault only kills my Patchwork Beastie. Make a dragon. Roiling Dragonstorm. Interesting. I wonder if they're not on Kona. I wonder if this is just like a big dragons mid-range deck. So we just fire up the Rock-a-Lanche and kill them? Sweet. Doesn't really matter where we put the counters here. Start extra Gran-Gran. Alright, game 1 down against whatever this is. Still not entirely certain. They're probably not on Kona, at least in the main board, if they're on Dragonback Assault, because like you put it in and it just kills your Kona, right? Bring in some metal bending, I think. Bring in at least 2. Kills the wagons. Maybe we just want all of them. Definitely want negates. Unable to scream. We'll skip on that. Go down some seismic sense. Go down some Dredger's Insight. Seems fine cutting those. Sparring dummy, my beloved. Probably not relevant. It doesn't read as the worst card necessarily. It'd be a lot better if it was 1 mana though. Imagine how fucked up that limited format would be if Sparring Dummy was 1 mana. 1 mana, 1/3 defender, potential card advantage. Set up all of your lessons in your graveyard. Pretty disgusting. I don't think I'm allowed to keep this. This is pretty good. We'll just get rid of the Origin of Metal Bending here. Negate, not the worst draw. Yeah, we'll keep a 3rd land. I wouldn't mind seeing Gran-Gran, of course. Pass it to you. What you got for me, Kyle C? Yeah, just quench this. We'll just pretty much quench anything we can at this point. Fly trap. Pass. It's the quenchiest. You stuck on lands? No. You might be stuck on the right lands, though. Continue to hold up interaction. And then next turn we'll fire off the Winter Night Stories. Okay. Now we don't have to. Hit a land drop. Yeah, I'm down with Accumulate Wisdom. 2 lessons in the graveyard. We could just jam the Origin of Metal Bending to guarantee the 3rd one. We'll negate this. That feels right to me. Keep them off of some card advantage, some card selection. Just be the most annoying blue deck you've ever encountered. Shock themselves. Summon Leviathan. Ward 2, notably. That's fine. I can just kill this on my turn. They have to bounce their elf back. Just gonna go for this now. Keep them off of being able to like negate this or spell pierce or anything. Kind of playing out nicely for us here. No red mana for them so far. Goes for a coil and catch. Trying to find some red mana. You know, I probably should have brought in all of the Origin of Metal Bendings. Did I only bring in 2? I don't know. Fire off Accumulate Wisdom. They don't seem to have any interaction. Another Quench. Huge. If they play smart, they could play around Quench at this point. They decide not to do that. We are firmly in this game. Eating their deck alive. Let's just go for the Vivian Reed. Could be kind of tough for them to deal with. Might even like threaten the ultimate eventually. Whiff. That's a little surprising. Surprisingly also, we only have instants in our graveyard. That's weird. That's really weird for this late in the game. It's only instants. Gonna have to change that. Genesis Wave for 5. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, so this must be like what's the big X spell? You know what I'm talking about. The one where you like copy permanents. Terrible with names. Classically terrible with names. Land in the graveyard. Not bad. Gran-Gran in the hand. Let's start blowing up some of their stuff here. I guess we'll see what we draw with this Winter Night Stories first. Boomerang Basics, not bad. We can afford to discard a Fly Trap at this point, I think, for card advantage. Rockalanche ain't it in this build, gang. I'm here to inform you. It ain't it. Go ahead and flash back the Winter Night Stories. I'm trying to hit like, yeah, just the good stuff basically. Discard the Rockalanche, discard the Verge. Accumulate Wisdom. Trying to hit like a Origin of Metal Bending here. Okay. Roll down Vivian. Hit your Overlord here. Gotta hold up the negate through the turn. Play a Beastie. I don't think we need to bounce the wagon quite yet. Probably afford to play a Seismic Sense at this point, although... No, let's just hold up our mana here. They may go for a Dragonback Assault. I think we have to counter this, unfortunately. They may have an answer of their own. No. They could go for a second one. There's a River Regent. Bounce my creatures, kill my Vivian Reed. Seems okay. Garnering quite a bit of card advantage from that little maneuver. We have another Vivian Reed in the deck. Pretty good against what they're doing. Let's go ahead and declare. You know, actually, we probably should mill, because if we manage to hit Super Delirium here, which we did, now we get to play a forest, Rockalanche a forest, and then double its counters and kill them, I think. Maybe Rockalanche ain't so bad. Let's do the math here. 5 counters, plus 2, doubles, 14, plus 3 is 17. But if we hit another Fly Trap, and then we go Fly Trap, double to 7 power, 4 counters, 6 counters, double to 12 counters, plus 3. Oh, it's pretty close, man. I guess I can, like, Fly Trap, Boomerang Basics back to my hand, Fly Trap. So if I Rockalanche, gosh, I'm really close. I'm really close. The Gran-Gran's free. Pretty much no matter what we do here, the Gran-Gran's free. Gonna Rockalanche. And a Fly Trap. Hit them to 1. That's not bad. I think we can all agree that's pretty good. Maybe just bounce their wagon over here. Because if they, like, kill my whole board and swing with the wagon, I'm pretty dead. Not a bad turn, per se. Gonna be hard for them to deal with a 14-14 forest. We were really close to putting something together there, though. Really, really close. I think we should be able to seal the deal. They're at 1. They're using a lot of their mana here to dig, which is usually a pretty good sign. Summon Fenrir. Generating blockers. Hauntwoods. Yeah, it's just not enough. It's just not enough. We have a hasty 5/5 here. Wow. 4-0. Who'd have thought? Who would have thought? Not me. Least of all me. They're looking at my cards like, what am I playing against? It's Lessons Delirium, baby. Of course we had fun playing Lessons Delirium. Holy smokes. No way this deck wins 5 matches in a row. If anything, it's not a testament to the power of any of the Delirium cards in my deck, I think. And just like, hey, isn't it busted when you cast Ancestral Recall? And it doesn't really matter what else you're doing. Doesn't really matter what else you're doing. You're drawing 3 cards for 1 mana. Wow. Going into the final match here against Rix. They're rocking the Sarkhan, Drip, on the play. Not a horrible hand. Lands and spells, good lands, in fact. Maybe we Dredger's Insight into a Grandmother. I think I'm shocked probably more than anyone else out there that this is any kind of successful. It started out just as the idea of like, man, I want to build an omnivorous flytrap deck that actually works. And then I was like, well, Lessons care about being in your graveyard too. Well, there's a Gran-Gran. Lessons care about being in your graveyard. Maybe we can just do like a turbo self-mill build where it all just kind of works out. And it turns out the efficiency of the flytrap is really where things start to go crazy here, I think. I guess we just Seismic Sense first here. Herd Heirloom. It probably just makes sense to play the flytrap before anything. Make the most use of our mana here. And then we can like guarantee attack with it. Put counters on it. Sarkhan. They're repping the Sarkhan drip. Probably like a Teamer Dragons build. That's cool. Lumbering World Wagon. They might have a tough time dealing with my flytraps here. Let's go ahead and fire off the Seismic Sense. This will put us at Delirium. Hopefully we get an untapped land. Okay. Flytrap. Just flytrap you? If you look at it like this, it's just super, super efficient. And if I do this, now they don't die to the Stormbrood, Twin Maw Stormbrood. 6 toughness, going to be pretty tough for them to deal with. I guess they could have like Meringue River Regent, bounce them both back to hand. That'd be pretty tough. Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest. Whenever Dragonhawk enters or attacks, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 4 or greater. Okay. And then they're going to be dealing some damage to me here. Interesting. They're just going all in. I can just block the wagon. There's no reason not to block the wagon. Taking a couple damage here. Seismic Sense. 3rd Flytrap. I'm not really seeing a way to get Super Delirium online. Might as well fire this off, see if we can hit a land. We do. Play another Flytrap, hit you for a pretty good chunk. So this is 8 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Well, we're definitely not allowed to shock ourselves here. Let's do the same tentative thing. Make sure that this Flytrap lives through removal. And then hit them. We might just be dead in the air. A little unfortunate that we did not have Super Delirium in that position. Gloomvine Regent. Taking quite a lot of damage in the air. 3 exiled cards. 6 damage. That'll do it. It was a close game, though. It was very close. Just needed one more way to like mill, I think. Let's go ahead and bring in the Unable to Scream. Bring in the Origin of Metal Bending. Good against their wagons and their herd heirlooms. Cut down on the Seismic Sense. Cut down on the Quenches, maybe? Quench is really good against this strategy generally, but they're on Cavern of Souls, so maybe not ideal. I think the Sparring Dummy could shine here. But no one ever. Cut down on a Dredger's Insight. Try it like that. Rocking the purple nails today. Wife did them for me. Shout out. Love of my life. Play first. It's close. It's close. We can do better. There's Grandma. I like this a lot better, in fact. Skip out on the land. Lead on Gran-Gran. Go crazy. Llanowar Elves. Dredger's Insight. I think against this deck we're just supposed to shut down the Llanowar Elves, probably. Hopefully we can get triple lessons online pretty quickly. Sarkhan. Looking very cool. There's the Twin Maw Stormbrood. Mill card. Origin of Metal Bending. Interesting. I wonder if we can bait them into blocking with their Sarkhan here. Discard a Rockalanche. Get some lessons going. They block with Sarkhan. Let's go ahead and put a 1-1 counter on Gran-Gran. Win that trade. Keep them off of this flyer for a little while. Beastie's online now. Just need one more lesson in the yard. Kills my Beastie. Interesting. Probably would have killed Gran-Gran. Another Unable to Scream. See what we hit here. Boomerang Basics is pretty big game. Go ahead and discard that. Now we're online with the Wisdom. We'll lead on that. Try to hit a land off this Dredger's Insight here. Nice. Back up Gran-Gran. Gonna hold off on the Unable to Scream. At this point, they have access to pretty much as much mana as they would want. Roaming Throne. Let me guess. Dragon. Ancestral Recall has entered the chat. I think we're just going to Ancestral Recall and then Unable to Scream the Roaming Throne this turn. So we can swing in with our Gran-Gran. Boomerang Basics. I think we have to hold on to that. We have Super Delirium. Vivian Reed is pretty good against their deck. Probably just discard a Beastie here. Gran-Gran beats. Gran-Gran beats. This deck is kind of sick. It's kind of like a Legacy deck almost. It says the guy that knows absolutely nothing about Legacy, but I hear he's popping up. Just very efficient stuff going on here. Nothing too flashy. Lumbering World Wagon. We can cast a 4-mana Vivian Reed, blow up the wagon. I think I will opt to do that. Swing in with Gran-Gran. Treasure's Insight. Not bad. Gonna pass on it for now. Play out this beastie. I don't know how it's working, but it's working. It's just that we have infinite gas, right? We have infinite gas. We don't stumble. Crazy. Muera. Trash Tactician. Expend for... Oh, okay. Okay. Kill my Vivian Reed. Not ideal. We're set up pretty nicely for a fly trap. Trash Tactician. No. Accumulate Wisdom, my beloved. Let us... Probably have to unable to scream this Trash Tactician. 1, 2, 3... Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If they draw another land... Spending 8 seems kind of tough for them, though. Plus, they get 1 mana from the Trash Tactician. Do we care? I'd really like to hit a fly trap in this position. The only way I could do that right now is if I like basics my Treasure's Insight. I guess I could basics my Unable to Scream. If I hit a Trash Tactician that way. That's pretty nice. Sorry. Hit a fly trap that way. I like the Origin of Metal Bending here. Go ahead and Unable to Scream this. Just play the Esper Origins. Swing in with Grandma first. It's kind of working, gang. A lot of little fun little hidden nuggets in all of this. Get rid of Gran-Gran. They're going into chump mode. Not the worst place for us to be. A rock and a treasure. They're going to shock Gran-Gran? Abrade Gran-Gran. Well, we'll save her. We will save her life. Okay, the plan has changed. Leaves from the vine. Oh no, 2 fly traps. Just the most garbage collection of garbage cards in my deck that you could ever imagine, held together thinly by the strength of Gran-Grans and Ancestral Recall. My grandmother is keeping the family together. Holy smokes. Mill a card. Put counters on my guys. Gran-Gran's a 4/5. Gran-Gran is a 4/5. Yeah. Let's go for Winter Night Story. See if we can hit a fly trap. Well, there's a Vivian Reed. Shoot down. Discard Esper Origins. Discard a Hedge Maze. Oh my gosh. Why is this working? Cost reduce Vivian Reed. Shoot down the Hellkite. I guess we'll hold back a blocker. Swing in with Gran-Gran. Discard Gran-Gran. Keep our Vivian Reed alive here. They could give up the Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon, maybe. Another Nova Hellkite. It's not bad, but the fact that they're being kind of distracted here with the Vivian Reed means we're at a healthy 12. I suppose we'll mill a card. Beastie. Draw a card. Ooh! Don't mind if I do. So, I suppose we just play it. Let's Esper Origins. Try to hit a land here so we can double spell. Yes. Go for the Breeding Pool. For our forest count, maybe that's a little silly. Unable to Scream your Hellkite. Not a whole lot to think about right here. Go crazy with the Fly Trap. Double the counters on Gran-Gran. She's a 9/10. Swing in. Draw a discard. Beat you down with grandmother? Alright, for all the marbles, gang. One final game. Do we bank on Quench? Let's bring in one at least. Let's bring in two. Seems kind of important to have some kind of answer to their turn 2 play here. We can quench a wagon. Go down the sparring dummy. Cut a land, maybe? That seems fine. Cut a Willow Rush Verge. 19 lands on the draw. For all the marbles, gang. What a frickin' sweet deck. What a sweet deck. It's it feels good to be winning some matches, to be honest with you. Gonna keep this. Had a pretty poor run with the past couple of videos, but honestly, this one's a banger, dude. And the fact that it's just on this, like, obviously Gran-Gran is kind of a known quantity, but I don't think we've seen any breakout, like, lessons builds in other colors. I think there's some pretty cool stuff going on here. Soul Guide Lantern, just gonna kill this. Just gonna kill this. Not much to think about there, I think. Need my graveyard. Start attacking. Put the Esper Origins in the graveyard. Gran-Gran Beatdown. Nova Hellkite. Doesn't kill Gran-Gran. Importantly. Does not kill Gran-Gran. I'm at 14 already, though. They don't have a board. Swing in with Gran-Gran here. If we discard a Beastie, we can turn on Delirium and then play our Flytrap post-combat. And then we can put 2 counters on the Flytrap, making it survive through Twin Maw Stormbrood. Pretty tough for them to deal with. And they scoop it up. And they scoop it up to 5-0 with blue-green grandmothers. Ranking up. Oh my god. What a run. Generational. Perhaps the most fun video I've done so far. Blue-green grandmothers. It worked. It worked. Now, in the future, what was so good about it? How do we quantify that? Well, it helped that one of our opponents gave us a free win. Played against an interesting assortment of decks. Never saw the Is It list. So take the results, I guess, with a bit of a grain of salt based on the matchups we ran into. A lot of off-meta stuff. Managed to beat blue-white control twice, though. Managed to beat Ouroboros, Simic. Beat the Dragons deck. What else? What was our other matchup? I genuinely don't remember. Wow. What a fun run. Did we play against, like... I think we did run into the Is It deck once, didn't we? With the Duelist of the Mind. Wow. Wow, what a fun run. 2 hours of pure bliss. If we were to change anything, I guess the sparring dummy could go. Maybe go down to 1 Rock-a-Lanch. It looked good sometimes, but I don't think we ever needed more than 1. I like that it's a lesson. It did feel like we could be on 4 Quench if we wanted to. It seemed very, very powerful. And the Boomerang Basics actually seemed pretty good just on its own. And increasing our density of lessons overall seems pretty important. I actually think maybe the split of Dredger's Insight to Leaves from the Vine is like this. Leaves from the Vine guarantees that we get enchantment in the graveyard once it pops. And actually the 2 counters was really, really relevant sort of in this small game where we are beating down with Grandma and like we have 1 Grandma, 1 Beastie. We're just like trouncing them in card advantage as far as like the interaction side of things goes. And we just have like a couple counters speeds up our clock by several turns when we're in that position, you know? Going from beating for 4 per turn to like 6 per turn. Wow. Keeping our Grandma like alive through firebending lesson. So I'm kind of in on the Leaves from the Vine. Almost always draws a card. Does not guarantee a card through graveyard hate like Dredger's Insight kind of does, but if our opponent has graveyard hate on the field, then our whole deck is shut down anyway, so maybe it's not even worth thinking about that too much. Vivian Reed performed very well. It makes a big difference when you can cast it for 4. And I liked the addition of the Esper Origins Winter Night Stories. Do I think this is a deck that you want to sleeve up and go on an MTGO run? I probably not quite yet, but it feels like it's close. The fact that it's all in on the graveyard is a sort of a bit of a detriment, I think, to it, where we don't really have an alternative plan. We have good ways to mitigate graveyard hate because we're on 4 Origin of Metal Bending. We can actually like deal with Rest in Peace. But compared to the Is It Otters list, where they sometimes just win without the graveyard, they just produce a board of Otters and beat you down with their prowess. We're not efficient in that way. We like need our graveyard to be online to do anything. Omnivorous Flytrap won a lot of games. The combination between Rocklanch and Flytrap was pretty cool. Patchwork Beastie was surprisingly tough to deal with for our opponents and like presented a pretty relevant clock for 1 mana. Wow. All I can say is wow, really. I mean, I had an awesome time. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Tons of fun. Thank you so much for checking this out. And yeah, if you're interested in more daily standard content like this, I'll be posting every day. So come on back. Why don't you come check out whatever I'm up to next? I'm brewing with some Jolly Balloon Man, maybe more Murata stuff in the works. Cool, fun. Thanks. Bye bye.